Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you a way of the Mistweaver Monk build guide in Baldur's Gate 3. This is a mod that is made by Havsglimt, and it's really cool and based loosely on some World of Warcraft. Now, this is a healing based monk. Now, it is also different from the Way of Mercy monk, which I've covered previously, as it does have similar abilities, but they have different range and different ways that they work. You got Renewing Mist, which can apply heal over time equal to your Wisdom modifier, and you can even invoke Yulan the Jade Serpent. Now, starting off at level 1 here, we get our very powerful Flurry of Blows, but at level 3, we get a bonus action heal, so we got options when it comes to combat. Now, I personally like to go with a stat spread. I like high dexterity on monks with a strength potion. You can also do a little trick where you can put a main hand weapon and have the Club of Hill Giant Strength in your offhand, swap this item with another team member, and then have an empty main hand and have in your offhand the Club of the Hill Giant Strength. So you can get easy high strength in the early game. You do want to obviously have some way of getting your strength up, so whether it be potions or a stick, but you can also spec in a strength if you prefer. Now, I also like, since we're going to take Tavern Brawler, to put our Constitution to 15, take that up to 16 with the Tavern Brawler. And at level 2, we get our bonus action, Patient Defense, Step of the Wind Dash, and Disengage. But level 3 is when we get to take our subclass here. Now, this is the way of the Mistweaver. Funny enough, there's now the new way of the Mindweaver, which is for the Mindweaver class, so you can multi-class and get some Mindweaver abilities. I'll be doing a video on that in the future. But with the Mistweaver, we get the Renewing Mist here. So this allows you to target someone with the Renewing Mist, and then you get to spend your martial arts die and heal them. So I guess this is the Renewing Mist here, 1d4 plus 3 healing, which is your Wisdom modifier, envelop a nearby creature, and Healing Mist. This sticks around for an amount of turns equal to your Wisdom modifier. At the start of each turn, they regain a 1d4 of healing. Now, I just want to mention one thing. Heals over time is not fantastic in Baldur's Gate 3 because combat is usually over within like turn 2 or 3 at the latest. So getting a big heal off on your teammates is fun, especially if you're using some different difficulty mods that makes combat extend itself out a bit. But if you're using Tactician Enhance to double or triple health, that would be fantastic because this just makes it a little bit more valuable for the team because combat's going to go a lot longer. But we also get the teachings of the monastery here, so channel the key within you, healing the injured with your mystical touch. Nothing better going around healing people with your own punches. Pretty cool stuff. So yeah, you do burn through key points quite a bit healing. I'll be honest on that. Level 4, we're going to take Tavern Brawler. I just always think it's best to get this up and then put our Constitution up to 16 at this point. Doubling our strength modifier and attack and damage rolls is nuts. This just means that we're never going to miss. Level 5 gives us our very powerful stunning strikes and then also an extra attack. Big power spike for the monk because you now have Tavern Brawler and 2 punches, so you can actually hit quite hard with your actions. Level 6 gives us our subclass feature, Restorative Ki. You've learned how to use Ki to expel harmful effects and breathe life back into those around you. You may cast Lesser Restoration as well as Revivify using Ki points whenever you cast a spell this way. The target of the spell receives Healing Mist or Renewing Mist without expending a use of it. So yeah, you now have Lesser Restoration and Revivify with some extra bonuses. Kind of cool, but again, not really that powerful in terms of you can short rest and long rest all the time in this game, so healing is obviously a lot less powerful than it is in a tabletop experience. For our next feat, Alert or an ability score improvement on our Dexterity or Wisdom. Wisdom's kind of cool because it fits this build a little bit better. I went with Alert though. Getting that extra initiative off is really nice. We get difficult terrain will no longer slow us down at that level there. Level 10 gives us our Purity of Body, immune to poison damage, cannot be poisoned. That's nice. No more disadvantage on attack rolls. Level 11 gives us our Jade Cocoon. So your outgoing healing is maximized when you heal a creature encased by your Jade Cocoon. So max healing rolls is really great. And then you can also cast Greater Restoration using Ki points. It's going to cost you 6 Ki points in this economy. Pretty crazy stuff, but it is an option to stop someone from being stunned using your action and 6 Ki points. You also have that Jade Cocoon there. So when a friendly creature is about to take damage, you may spend up to 5 Ki points to encase that target in a protective cocoon of mist. This will give them temporary health points equal to a roll of your martial arts die per Ki point spent. So that's 5 martial arts die. You can actually get quite a bit of temporary health. It's actually a really nice boost because then you also are going to be healing and then giving them max heal rolls as well. Again, it's healing in Baldur's Gate 3 is a little bit less offensive or less effective than just going all out offense and removing targets, but you can still punch and do quite a bit of damage. And in the combat section of this video, I'm actually going to show off quite a bit of combat. Now, this could be like the level 12. If you want to say a level 12, you could finish it off here. I'm going to show you level 20, as I know a lot of people really enjoy that. You can go with the Dexterity feat there, or the Tough feat's nice for extra health points. But I'm going to go with the Dexterity increase for better initiative and armor class. We also get a level 13, the Tongue of Sun and Moon. Now, again, you don't have to continue to level 20. You can stick along, see what happens. We just get our increased movement speed, and then we'll get some extra abilities from the subclass as we proceed through. So, since this class burns through Ki points so much, it's nice to get additional ones. We'll take the Tough feat for the extra 2 health. That's 40 extra health, giving us a lot more survivability, which we do want. And here's level 17, Invoke Yu'lon the Jade Serpent. So you can invoke the teaching of Yu'lon the Jade Serpent, healing all nearby allies for an amount equal to a roll of your martial arts die per key point spent. So yeah, you can heal up your entire team quite a bit with this. It's a cool ability. I'll show this off. Now, this class is very much healing focused, but you can do quite a bit of damage in combat. Now, it doesn't have any extra abilities past level 17. You can continue all the way to level 20, but it's never a bad idea to add in the Rogue Thief for that extra bonus action. That just means we have more heals for our team. And then we also have the ability to use those without burning our key points, which we go through quite a bit of. So yeah, Thief for the extra bonus action if you want to take this to level 20. All right, now, so for gear, there's a few options. Evasive shoes, I always like. You can use the boots of Stormy Clamor if you got ability drain from the Illithid ability, because that'll apply reverberation. I like, obviously, gloves of soul catching. Use whatever elemental damage gloves you can get in the early game. This will just give us a plus 10 force damage per punch, which is times 2 on a flurry of blows. And also can give you higher constitution and or attack roll advantage and saving throw advantage, which is really nice. And the Vest of Soul Rejuvenation, this is the only monk armor in the game, really, that you want to use once you get to access to it, because it has the greater Kashiko counter, allowing you to use a reaction to punch somebody. Great for boosting up our overall damage. And it gives us a +2 to armor class. We don't have a very high armor class. We could take it a little bit higher if we use the ring of armor class, but and I guess I have the cloak of protection here. You can also use the Deathstalker mantle. I have the Scabby Pugilist Circus, giving you +2 damage when surrounded by 2 or more foes. There's not really many great helmets for the monk. We also got ourselves the Killer Sweetheart here, which will give us a free crit, and also the Shadow Cloak ring, so our melee and unarmed attacks deal additional 1d4 damage against lately or heavily obscured targets. Just flat out boosting our damage. Now, our Flurry of Blows actually does quite a bit of damage, 72 damage. It's nice. It's the 1d10 force damage. It's great. But we also got the Hellrider Longbow for the +3 to initiative. This is just really useful, and also the advantage on ability checks for perception, but the +3 initiative, we're always going first with the alert feed and their dexterity being this high. Even against things like Khazador, we're very likely to be able to go punch him in the face before we even get to move in. Now, speaking from experience, healing classes don't lend themselves very well to combat showcases because, yeah, we're just going to be healing. So I'm going to show you, I guess, combats a bit, really. Since we have 2 bonus actions, that does help quite a bit, but for the most part, we're going to want to go around punching often. I'm actually going to use Flurry of Blows because it's going to give us a higher chance of taking this target out. You can use that free critical to take enemies out, but if you have Illithid, any Illithid abilities will benefit this quite a bit when it comes to combat, because you've seen there, the Call of the Weak was actually able to take that target out. Wow, critical miss. That was not good. It has reduced health, so I was actually banking on it. We'll do the critical hit to hopefully, take it out in one shot. That's what I wanted, exactly. Now, we also can do sneak attacks with our ranged bow here. We don't have a melee weapon attached, although you can use a melee weapon. Like, there's a club, or there's a staff for people to use if you're a monk. I wouldn't really even bother recommending it. I'm having the worst luck here with getting attacks off. I think it's really wanting me to stay as a... it really wants me to not focus on doing melee attacks here. So I ate up his reaction, which is fine. So then I can move forwards. I want to take out this target here, but I ran up into this guy's face. So I'm just going to go with the Flurry of Blows here, take him out. Yeah, and then you can, I guess, use Soul Snare heal. Yeah, just really play like a normal monk that round. We didn't have anyone to heal. Here's our reaction, Jade Cocoon. So in case the target in Protective Cocoon a missed, and it'll give them temporary health points equal to the amount of key points that we spend using our martial arts die. So this can be good. I'm actually going to use it right now. I may regret this when when I wish I had counterspell or something, but the Illithid counterspell. I'm going to use 3 key points here. So that gives her the Jade Cocoon. She took 7 damage, but she now has 14 total health. She got hit again. She still has her temporary health, so we actually end up protecting her. Her health bar is untouched. So yeah, that's really one of the biggest benefits of playing this, is you can actually keep your team safe, although it is going to eat up your entire reaction. And they lost the Jade Cocoon here, so that's unfortunate because we weren't able to max heal them, and they're going to be taking a bunch of damage. That's unfortunate. All right, I got to go heal Shadowheart, but we have this guy here that's just going to get punched. Need to not get that opportunity attack. And this guy here is full health, so we're going to use the Flurry of Blows, which will likely take him out. The 2 punches are great on high health targets there. And then we can use our Teachings of the Monastery there, or the Renewing Mist, or maybe any of our healing spells here. She's restrained, so I guess none of these really apply. You can just walk up and heal her. But I'm going to use the Teachings of the Monastery here. So we have our punch or our bonus action punches, so we can use this to go ahead and give her a heal. So boom, cool VFX, 13 health. That was pretty good. I'm going to go do the best way of healing, which is preventing damage from happening to our team. So we're just going to go over here. This target is 55 health. I actually think that I'm going to use the bonus action on this one. So boom. Yeah, I could have went with a single punch. Yeah, it's kind of a game of knowing when you're going to take out a target. Now, you can use the Illithid abilities, obviously, to make targets go down a lot quicker. I might get mind broken doing this. I did. That was not good, but I can actually use the Jade Cocoon on myself here to give myself temporary health. That was 24 temporary health. Not really the worst roll ever to protect us from one attack. And I just got slowed. Unfortunately, the biggest downside of this is you've nothing to really resist things with. Like, you should have someone with counterspell to really protect you, because that's one of the biggest downsides of having a healer that's not a cleric is they don't come with some of the utility. Not that clerics have counterspell, but clerics do have a lot of other effects. And then there's command grovel, so we're going to get screwed over. Yeah, that's the unfortunate part. All right, so I'm kind of in a spot where I can't do really anything, but since the monk gets 2 attacks, you can use a bow and attack with your bow. Arrow of many targets with the free crit will crit everybody. That's really all we got right now. I can't physically move, but I need to get this target dead so that they don't hit me with any more control spells. 30% hit chance. We somehow were able to get that, and we got the target we wanted dead, so that was not bad. I guess here we got the Jade Cocoon again we'll use, so that is going to protect Minsk there. It's a really cool little animation. And our temporary health, he got 34 that time. They already burned through 20 of it. So I almost had a run end there because they came over and tried to shove me. That was not cool, but we were able to succeed on the acrobatics check. So yeah, we are completely out of key points now, which makes us very weak because now we don't have flurry of blows. I should have thought a little bit harder on that. I went all in on the defense. That's, I guess, one of the reasons that you really want to focus on taking out enemies with being key efficient, because I burned through 15 key points by using the Jade Cocoon there. Now there's 2 targets I cannot touch, so I'm just going to use an arrow attack on them and get advantage on our next attack roll because we have the soul catching boon there. So that was now a hit that normally would not have been a hit. That was great. I do have a bonus action unarmed strike that I can use that doesn't eat a key point, so that's great because it's really my only option now. But yeah, we'll just go around and critically miss with the kick and get hit. Oh, we got our deflect missiles. It's cool as you can sometimes throw that back. It's a bugged interaction though. It's not working properly, and my explosive blood, unfortunately. I guess now I'll just go ahead with a normal punch here on this target. He's got low health, so that should finish him off. He had 25 1 force damage. What a bad roll on the force damage. And then our last targets are hiding away, so I unfortunately have to go with a bow attack, but you could do a sneak attack if you have advantage against the target. If you have like the risky ring that can give you the free advantage. I'm just going to try and do a little trick shot here with the many targets, and it did not work. And I unfortunately cannot reach him, so I'm going to hit him with a Mind Blast. It's really all I got. Yeah, unfortunately, not that great of a showcase because this is mostly healing focused. Oh, that was bad. That was my arrow of humanoid slaying. We're screwed. We're so screwed. But yeah, you're good at healing. Oh, another miss. Jesus. Well, I'll be honest, folks. This class, I would not say is that strong. Again, I've been saying throughout the whole video, healing classes are going to be weaker. You can't hit the broadside of a barn. I might have just had some really bad luck in this combat section, but my entire team's almost dead. And I guess this is my hot take. I actually think if you're going to play a monk, the best healer monk would be the open hand monk, because the best way to heal is just making sure your team does not take damage, because if you're using your actions to be reactive and heal them, it's going to be a hard time. Now, where is this mod great? Well, if you're playing with friends, this is fantastic because you're going to be a healer and you can play a monk to keep them alive, especially if you're using the way of the Mistweaver and the way of the Windwalker monk, which I've also done a build on. This one is a lot stronger, but you could have friends that, I guess, play both of those there. Baldur Warcraft themed class mods. The only unfortunate thing is your monk that is a healer is likely going to be better off just doing damage. So yeah, I like the open hand monk quite a bit. Just want to give my thoughts on it. It is a fun playstyle, but just don't expect it to be super brokenly strong, as a lot of people play with mods because they want to be super brokenly strong, and you won't be with this. So just wanted the heads up there. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit the subscribe button below if you enjoyed. We'll catch you in the next one.